So I'm asked all the time by email, people phoning me, can I do a hybrid roof? And the answer is, well, if you get it designed correctly and it's going to work, it's going to work. But most people don't really want to hear that. They want to go, will it work or won't it work? And the answer is, well, you've got to get it designed. I couldn't say whether it will or won't. But what I can say is that today we have two different types of roofs that we know work. We've got this, which is a true cold roof. This is an example. This is an example of a true warm roof. And a mixture of either of these is a hybrid roof, and hybrid roofs need to be designed or they can be outside the parameters of where they're going to work. And that's as simple as it is. So what do I mean by that? Well, you take, for instance, this warm roof here. If you put insulation in between here, you turn it into a hybrid roof. If you put insulation in here, which is your ventilation area to go up and down again, this is trying to represent a brick wall, and this is trying to represent a vent, an abutment vent, and I've got videos of that which I can show you. But if you fill the space in here and you haven't vented it, and it doesn't matter if you fill it with rock wool or if you fill it with any kind of fluffy stuff inside here, it's all insulation. You are stopping the movement of air moving through. You're also stopping or retarding the amount of heat coming up, which means the top decking is cold, and if the top decking is cold, it could sweat. So you need to get it designed, and most of this, like for instance, that would fail a design. Now this over here, which again, hybrid roof, if we put this inside here, if we put it inside here like this, hybrid roof, but this one like this probably wouldn't fail a design for the simple reason the bulk of the insulation is outside. There's only a small amount inside. Now, why does that make a difference? Because someone's going to turn around and say, well, why can't we do it this way? Why can't we put a whole load of insulation like this inside here and do that as a roof? And in fact, you could even do that as a roof. I get asked this one all the time, you know, can I do this way around? Well, you can't have the majority inside and the smaller amount on the outside, and there's reasons why, and all of these changes make it a hybrid roof because it's a mixture of the two. It's an unknown, and you need to know the reasons why. If you start to realise why, especially on the warm roof, you can then see the logic behind it. So let me just try and point that out. If we go to the correct build-up of a warm roof, which is here, if it's cold outside and it's heated inside, 20 centigrade inside, this assume 0 outside, this decking is going to be warm, hence why it's called a warm roof. And there's no way that you're going to get any kind of sweating in this area, above or inside. It's just not going to happen because of the internal temperature is keeping this warm. If the inside room is 20 C, this is going to be about 20 C. As we move up, it's going to go 18, 16, and as we move up, outside, which is 0, is coming in, and as this is this 0 as it's going in here is going 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, and probably around about there the two will meet, and you are going to get condensation depending on the relative humidity of any moisture that has passed through this or come down. You are going to get some kind of sweating somewhere in the build up inside this. Now if you put this inside, you will now lower the temperature of the decking. If you lower the temperature of the decking, you bring down your dew point, and by bringing it down, you're getting closer to having a problem where the dew point is going to happen inside the fabric, under the fabric of the roof's construction, under the vapor barrier inside, and you don't want sweating inside that area at all. So the more insulation you put inside, the lower the decking temperature and the lower the dew point. And if you do a mathematical calculation, which you can get worked out. Most of the suppliers of the insulation will work it out for you. They will come back with you and tell you where approximately the dew point will be. They tell you a graph, but no one really understands unless you're a structural engineer or something like that. But it basically says you will be safe, and that's really the kind of thing that you need to know. That is getting a roof designed. So this here is a hybrid roof, but it will perform probably. Okay, now you move over back over to here, and you've got this great ventilation movement here. So the reason this one works is because any moisture that does get up past your vapor barrier into this area is blown out. It's a double whammy. It means that if the vapor barrier has a problem, you haven't put the right one in, you've got this to help you move out all the moisture, and it works. The minute you get rid of that vent, the minute you move your insulation up and turn it into a hybrid roof, then the whole thing starts to go pear-shaped. Now, you know, you've got to ask yourself, well, we go back 100 years, why didn't we have problems with the old roofs? Now, if you look at this over here, this could represent an old roof. I ran out of plasterboard, so I couldn't put it there. But this could be an old lead roof, it could be a felt roof, it could be an asphalt roof. This could be a lath and plaster ceiling. And for hundreds of years it worked. But the reason it worked is that we didn't have double glazing, we didn't have so many kitchens and bathrooms inside, and the whole thing leaked energy. And that energy leaked up and out, taking moisture out, and generally you had less relative humidity inside the building than you do today. You had more ventilation, which was natural ventilation, and a 100-year-old or a 200-year-old roof worked. Now you take a building today which is 100 or 200 years old, and the way we've changed them inside by putting paints on the walls which don't breathe. Vinyl wallpaper was something back in the 40s or 50s or 60s, and it stopped everything from breathing. More moisture build up, the moisture had to get out, double glazing, the moisture can't get out, so it's all getting forced up into the ceiling area to get out, higher moisture going in there. Now we see that this kind of thing can fail. So you go to a new build, and this is a new build construction with the insulation underneath. If it was a retrofit on an old building, you wouldn't necessarily have to put that insulation underneath. It's all to do with the Part L of the building regulations. It's a much higher specification for the U value, for the retention of energy, so you have to have this underneath it, and you've got this ventilation to take out any moisture which is inside. But even this has to have a certain amount of control over the moisture. The vapor barrier is designed to retard the movement of moisture up into the roof, but its parameters are 60% humidity maximum, and I go into a lot of houses today where they are up to 60% humidity, in which case if that moisture is getting through, more moisture is getting through than the ventilation can handle. And that's why I say, the ventilation is the most important thing. And we go to sheds. I get lots of people talk to me about sheds and saying, I'm building a shed, I do woodwork like I do, and I want to do my shed, and can I do a hybrid roof? And can I fill this whole area up? I don't want to have any ventilation. I haven't got the space. I want to make it nice and warm. Can I fill it all up like this? And will it work? And the answer is, this probably won't work, because you're going to get movement of moist air from down below. Now it's a shed. You're not living in there. You're not cooking in there. So you should be low humidity. But believe me, I monitor inside here, and sometimes with the rain outside, the humidity in here gets to 50, 55, and there's no taps, sinks, anything inside here. So, if you're going to do a cold roof, even in a shed, do it correctly and make sure that you've got good movement. Now, you go back to the warm roof, which is a much more robust construction, because you don't have to have good ventilation, you have no ventilation. There's a lot less to go wrong with this if you build it correctly. There's too many parts to this that could go wrong. Now, why do people want to keep building this when you can build that? And the answer is, look at the height difference between the two. Now, I can show you that height difference with this. There's this, by the way, with 120mm insulation, this is only good for retrofit. If we were doing a new build, this would have to be 150mm of insulation to get to the correct U value for today's building control. But you just take this, because most of the stuff that we do is retrofit, and a lot of people out there are just doing stuff where they can get away with 120mm at today's standards. So 370mm from bottom to top. Here, 260mm. 110mm is the difference, and this is where everybody's going, you know, hybrid. I want to get more hybrid. I want to get more insulation in there, and this is why I'm choosing this rather than this. But there are other ways around it, because over here you could turn this one into a warm roof and be pretty much as close as this one. If I take this over here, now over here, recently we did a job with 6B3 timbers, and they are C24, so they're a much stronger timber. And you have to get this designed. You can't just swap from your 200 by 50 or 8B2 timbers to this. You must talk to your engineers and get it designed. But this is 50mm shorter. And if we start looking at the height of that, the difference with this is 60mm compared with this. So you're only 60mm higher on this one than you are on a true cold roof, and yet it's much more of a robust build. So hopefully hybrid roofs is explained and you understand it's a mixture between the two, and it doesn't matter what you do. If you go away from this, or you go away from the true warm roof, which could be this one as well, it is a hybrid roof. Hopefully that helps. Speak soon.